I fell victim to the reviews. It's giving me great vibes, which is shocking and shouldn't be allowed. That's it. She's unholding it. It is just insane. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neve and I am so happy that you are here. We are currently in the second to last month of the year, which is absolutely crazy. Where has the time gone? I feel like I say it every year, but time genuinely does seem to be moving quicker with every year that passes. It is just insane. But it is that time of year when I start to think about all of the books that I want to read before the year is up. I have 5 books left to read to reach my reading goal, but I think that I can do better than that. So today I'm going to be talking about the 10 books that I want to read before the end of 2025. These are the books that are on my priority TBR, and some of them have been on my TBR for quite a while. So even though good books will always be good books, no matter when you read them, I would really love it if I could read these books by the end of the year. Now, is it likely that I will read all of these books by the end of 2025? No, I am a mood reader like so many others. However, am I going to try my best without putting myself into a slump? Yes. So let's just get into it. My 10 books before the end. I'm actually cheating a little bit with this first book because I actually already started it last night, and that is The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman. This book was actually a bit of a saving grace for me because I finished The Ascended a few days ago and I was on such a high after reading it because it was just so good and it had such old school romanticy feels. And then I went straight into First by Ali Hazelwood, which again was just such a fun time. So I was on such a reading high. My spirits, they were up here. And then I picked up Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is a book that has been on my TBR for such a long time, and I've actually soft DNF'd it once before, and I've had to soft DNF it again because even though I know, I am certain that this is a book that I will enjoy, it just wasn't the right choice for the mood that I was in after being on such a high from my previous 2 reads, and I could just feel the slump coming over me when I was reading it. So yeah, I've decided I'm going to soft DNF it again. I think I'm going to do 3 strikes and you're out. If I pick it up again and I want to DNF it again, that's it. She's unholding it. She's gone. But for now, it's a soft DNF. But anyway, I've gone off on such a tangent now. I'm sorry. Back to The Wolf King. This was a saving grace because I picked it up last night and my slumping feeling just absolutely disappeared because I could not put it down. I'm about 100 pages in and I am so intrigued, and the vibes in this book are just immaculate. I'm having such a fun time with it already. I've seen it described as Outlander but with wolves, and honestly, so far I would say that that is pretty accurate, just minus the time travel aspect. I love Outlander. I love my bit of Jamie Fraser. So all these alpha men, wolves roaming around in their kilts, it's giving me great vibes. We are following the FMC Aurora, who is a princess and is kidnapped by an alpha from the Wolf Kingdom. So she's taken to the enemy Wolf Kingdom. And I think that some forbidden attraction, some forbidden romance is going to start growing. I'm not there yet, but I'm picking up what the author's putting down and I'm seeing where this is going. I mean, it's not a shock, it is a romantasy, so it's not hard to guess, and I think there also may be a love triangle. Now, I believe that a love triangle is a superior trope, and if you don't agree, then you're wrong. No, I'm only joking. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, guys. That's fine. However, when a love triangle is done right, I love it, and I think it is such a good trope. So I am very, very excited to continue with this one and see where it goes. And I can jump straight in to the next book when I'm finished, which is, I think, called The Night Prince. So I'm very excited. The second book is one that actually isn't out yet, and that is Crown Tide by Alex Aster. This comes out on the 2nd of December and is the 4th and I believe final book in the Lightlark saga, which is a series that I absolutely love. Because it's will be the fourth book. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read the rest of the series yet and still wants to. But it is a YA fantasy novel that continues the story of our FMC Isla. And the series begins with Isla entering the Centennial, which is a deadly games that the rulers of 6 realms must enter every 100 years in an attempt to break the curses that have been plaguing their realms for centuries. Obviously then, over the course of the 3 books, there are a lot of secrets, a lot of deceptions, a lot of twists and turns and betrayals, and there is an amazing and super frustrating love triangle that is yet to be resolved. It's been 3 books and it's yet to be resolved. So I cannot wait to read this one and finally get a conclusion for these characters who I just have a real soft spot for. I just love them all. So I can't wait for this one. I then have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab, which is one from my physical TBR, as you can see. Now, I'd like to read this one really soon because I feel like once the Christmas season is well and truly underway, I will not want to be picking this one up until next autumn. And I don't really want it sitting on my shelf unread for that long. So I'm going to be putting myself on a bit of a time crunch with this one because my birthday is at the end of this week. And once that's over, it's Christmas. The tree is up. The Christmas music is on. I actually picked this one up not that long after it was released, and I don't really know why, but I just haven't read it yet. I think honestly it's the size that puts me off because it is quite a chunky book. It's over 500 pages and it's a hardback, so that is decent size. But if you don't know, this book has kind of been trademarked as being about toxic lesbian vampires, which as a premise sounds amazing and does everything you want it to do. But given that this is a V.E. Schwab book, I just know that the story is going to go so much deeper than that. I think that most people, like myself, were introduced to V.E. Schwab's writing with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is a book that I absolutely love. And her writing in that book and the others that I've read since is just so poignant and rich and poetic, and I just know that Bury Our Bones is going to be the same. I believe that this book follows the journeys of 3 women. We have Maria in 1500s Spain, Charlotte in 1800s London, and Alice in present day Boston. And as a history girly, the historical settings have me very intrigued. So I really can't wait to read this one, and I think I might make it my next read after The Wolf King. Next up is an audiobook that I would like to listen to, and that is Bound by Ali Hazelwood. As I'm filming this, the audiobook was released yesterday, so it is right on my radar at the minute. I think I've said it before, but I absolutely love everything that Ali Hazelwood's write, and she has kept us fed this year with 6 new releases. 6. I think she just doesn't stop writing. The only pieces of her work that I haven't read are Problematic Summer Romance and Hot for Slayer, because I feel like those are very seasonal reads and I kind of missed my chance to read them this year. But that is fine because that just means that I get extra Ali Hazelwood next year. I'm not sure if Bound is a full-length audiobook or if it's more of a novella. I know her last audio-only book, To Play, was more of a novella, but that was really fun, and I believe that is now actually going to be released as a paperback and an ebook, which is very exciting because I will be able to have it as a little trophy on my shelf, on my Ali Hazelwood shelf, so I can't wait for that. But I am also super excited about Bound because it is a dark academia romance, which is something that Ali Hazelwood hasn't done before, so I'm very intrigued to see how her writing style will fit within that genre. So the book follows a reluctant con artist who, in order to pay her bills, has to turn to forgery as a bit of a side hustle. And alongside her is a secretive professor who kidnaps her so that she can forge a mysterious ancient manuscript for him. So they spend long nights working together and secrets and feelings all unfold. And I am so looking forward to listening to this one. I actually went to listen to this yesterday and I was so disappointed because I've run out of Spotify hours for 2 more days. So I have to wait 2 more days before I can listen to this. But I'm so excited for when I can. We're halfway there, and the 5th book on this list is Silvercloak by L.K. Stephen. I've been so looking forward to reading this book, but I just haven't got around to it yet. I've honestly seen nothing but good things said about this book. I know that the magic system is fueled by pain and pleasure, and that is honestly all I needed to know before adding this book to my TBR, because that just sounds incredible. I've never read a book with a magic system like that before, so I'm very, very intrigued to see what that is like. And most excitingly, I know that the magic wielders use wands, which just seems so old school fantasy, and I absolutely love it. I don't think I've read a fantasy book where they use wands since I read Harry Potter. The book follows Saffron, whose parents were killed by the Blood Moons, and hell-bent on revenge, she lies her way into the Silvercloak Academy of Detectives with the goal of bringing the Blood Moons to justice. However, her deception is discovered and she is given one choice, and that is to go undercover and take down the Blood Moons from the inside. And obviously throughout all of this time, she knows that one wrong move could get her killed, and she's having to contend with a rival gang of dark mages, curious prophecy, and her growing feelings for the Kingpin's son. It just sounds so interesting to me. Like, I absolutely love the synopsis of that book. I think it sounds incredible. And I know I like L.K. Stephen's writing from Our Infinite Fates, but that was YA, and I believe that Silvercloak is actually her adult debut, which just makes it even more exciting. Next up, we have Warrior Princess Assassin by Brigid Kemmerer. This came out in August this year, but is actually a more recent addition to my TBR, and that is because I found out that it is a MMF Why Choose Romance, and I love a Why Choose Romance. Like Silvercloak, this is also the author's adult debut. However, I haven't actually read any of her other work, but Defy the Night has been on my TBR for a very long time. So maybe if I enjoy this book, I will feel more inclined to pick up her other book that has honestly been on my TBR for probably close to 2 years now, which is shocking and shouldn't be allowed, but there we are. I honestly don't have much to say about why I want to read this book, other than I just think it'll be something that I really enjoy. And I feel like it's not often that you see why choose in fantasy books. I feel like it's more often a love triangle, but the romance in this, as the title suggests, is between a warrior king, a princess, and an assassin. And I think they have to work together because somebody is trying to kill them, which sounds really good because there's obviously going to be some sort of mystery aspect to it all as well. But I have seen quite a lot of mixed reviews about this one, but I'm going to go into it with an open mind and I'm looking forward to it. The 7th book on this list is A Forbidden Alchemy by Stacey McEwen. I went on a trip to Florida in September, and when I was in Target, I saw this edition, which just immediately caught my eye. I hadn't seen or heard anything about this book before then, so I really did judge a book by its cover with this one. But I also recognised the author because I have read and enjoyed the Glacian trilogy, which is another fantasy series that she wrote. A Forbidden Alchemy is the start of a new series called the Artisan Trilogy, and it follows Nina and Patrick, who are a fated pair who stumble upon a world-changing secret in their youth and are catapulted into a violent class war in adulthood. And throughout all of this, they find each other amidst love, loss, and lots of betrayals. And similarly to Warrior Princess Assassin, this is just a book that I really like the sound of, and I'm currently deep in my romantasy era, which, to be honest, when am I not? But I would really like to get to this one by the end of the year whilst I am in the mood for it. And I honestly have no idea why, but this book is giving me serious December energy. I don't know if it's the cover or the fact that I did read the Glacian trilogy at the end of last year, so maybe I just equate Stacey McEwen's writing with December. I have no idea. So even though I did put this book on my November TBR, I might actually save it for December instead. But I'm excited to see if judging a book by its cover did work out for me. Next is A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. I had this book on pre-order for when it came out in May this year. It was one of my most anticipated reads for 2025, and it was on my 25 to read in 2025 list, and I still haven't read it. This is the sequel to A Fate Inked in Blood and is the conclusion to the saga of the Unfated duology. Now, I really enjoyed A Fate Inked in Blood. I love a good Norse-inspired Viking fantasy, and that was a good one. So I was all guns blazing, ready to jump straight into A Curse Carved in Bone when it was released. However, I fell victim to the reviews. I saw so many people whose reviews I trust and who have similar reading tastes to me say that this book was boring. And so I haven't picked it up. I obviously really want to know what happened in this book because book one did end on quite a cliffhanger. I'm scared that it's going to tarnish the way that I feel about A Fate Inked in Blood. The duology follows Freya, who is a shield maiden blessed by the gods, and she is forced into revealing her powers and fighting to unite the nation under a power-hungry king, whilst she's also battling her feelings for his son. Book two then obviously follows on from book one, but I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil book one for anyone. But I am forcing myself to put this on my 10 before the end list because it was a really highly anticipated read for me, and I can't keep letting other people's reviews put me off it, and I refuse to have it still sitting on my shelf unread going into 2026. The second to last book on this list is Lady of Darkness by Melissa K. Rowerick. I've put this on the list because whilst I do want to read this series itself, I am particularly interested in the Legacy series by the same author, and it is recommended that you read Lady of Darkness series first. And being the type of person that I am, if it's recommended, that is what I will do. But I've been putting it off because I feel like the Lady of Darkness series is quite a long series, so I haven't really been feeling like committing to it. However, there is a lot of momentum surrounding the Legacy series at the minute because I believe that the final book in that series is being released this month, and that is also being picked up to be traditionally published, which is very exciting. So all of this is now spurring me on to read the Lady of Darkness series. And obviously I know that I'm not going to finish this series by the end of 2025, but I would really like to just make a start because sometimes for me that's just half the battle. Because once I start a series, I do usually tend to read them one after the other, or at least like close together, because I just think it's really fun to be immersed in the world. Lady of Darkness is a slow burn epic fantasy romance, and it sounds like it has all of the perfect ingredients for a good romantasy. It's got enemies to lovers, it's got fae, it's got vampires, it's got a morally grey MMC and an assassin FMC. It's got found family and a bit of mystery. So I am very excited to get into this one. Finally, book number 10 on this list is Brimstone by Callie Hart. This book comes out on the 18th of this month, and I know that it is going to be such a popular release because it is the sequel to Quicksilver. Quite controversially, perhaps, I did not love Quicksilver. I found it was lacking in quite a lot of ways. However, I am still quite invested in the characters and I would like to see how the story unfolds. I also think that given how book one ended, Brimstone is going to have a completely different storyline. So again, I am interested in seeing where the story is going to go. I also know that as soon as this book is released and everyone is talking about it, that I'm going to fall victim to the FOMO. So I'm just preempting that and I'm adding it to the list. I most definitely need to watch some Quicksilver recap videos because I've forgotten so much of what happened. I do also think that I read Quicksilver at the wrong time for me, so I probably did judge it fairly, which is why I'm still going to read Brimstone and I'm going to give this series another chance. With that being said, those are the 10 books that I would like to read before the end of this year. If when I post my November and December wrap-ups, these books are not on there, you will all have to hold me accountable. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, then please do like and subscribe. I would love to have you here with me. And comment down below the book or books that you absolutely must read before the end of 2025. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!